Hello, everyone. Last week I vlogged a lot and then I never put it together and did anything. It turned out to be a really busy week, and I don't know. So I don't know. Should I attach some of the vlog to this? I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Anyway, what I want to do, though, is say that I did finish reading 2 books last week. One was The Fellowship of the Ring, which I enjoyed very much, but I'm listening to it on audio, and I missed a lot because of the names, and I don't know. I'm not a good auditory kind of listener. I guess that's the only kind you can be, but you know what I mean. I don't think I pick up as much when I'm listening rather than reading, and so the story just has a lot of strange names and lots going on, and I think I was distracted. I mostly did it while I was cooking or cleaning the kitchen. I think sometimes I just got distracted and missed things. But I started watching the movie with my husband last night. They changed a lot in the movie. I have a feeling, we only watched the first half of the first movie. I have a feeling I'm going to be someone who enjoyed the book more than the movie, because the movie is very big on special effects and very loud and, splashy, and the orcs are so disgusting and all that sort of thing. And I think I really liked the whole atmosphere of the book. I thought Tolkien was a lovely writer. It's very, the story had kind of a slow pace, which the movie, of course, doesn't. And I can see why they changed that. But I enjoyed the slower pace. And I felt like it created the atmosphere of the Shire better, and it sort of gave more of an impact on how these different things that had happened in the past were sort of building to this crisis. But I'm going to finish watching the movie, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to like the book. That's usually the case. I usually like the book better than the movie anyway. There's a couple of exceptions to that, but not much. The other thing that I finished reading was The Tenant of Wildfell Hall, and I enjoyed it for the most part while I was reading it. There were a couple of times where it kind of lagged for me, but not too bad. So overall, I enjoyed it, and I guess I would give it 4 stars, but I guess I'm going to be a little nitpicky about it. It is epistolary. I always say that word wrong. It's epistolary, and I don't know why it was. I don't think it really worked for the story. In the beginning, it's this guy writing somebody. You don't know why he's writing everything. Like, he's just pouring out his whole life story, or this love story to somebody. And then he's given the diary of someone, and that's sort of inserted in the middle. And so you're reading somebody else's diary, and then, which has to do with, in the end, has to do with the, what was his name? Gilbert Markham was the guy. And then you go back to his writing the letter to someone. And the whole time I was going, why is he pouring his heart out to somebody? Who is this guy? We never hear who he is or know who he is, really, until the end. And then, to me, it just didn't pay off. Like, why is he telling all this intimate detail to this guy? It just didn't work for me. Also, the other thing was the tone between the two writers, the Gilbert and then, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting her name. Oh my gosh, I've forgotten her name. The woman in question, the woman who was the Mrs. Graham, that wasn't her first name. But you hear from Mrs. Graham in her diary, and they were so similar. It was hard to distinguish. I mean, they were alike and they weren't alike in the way it was written. But to me, it wasn't enough of a distinction between two different people writing their hearts out. It just seemed too much the same to me. So, and then it's very much a cautionary tale about bad marriages. And and what can happen if you don't marry wisely, especially women trapped in the situation where they need to marry for money, but they don't want to marry a bad guy who's going to abuse them, or, that will they be respected and cared for. And there's very much a story about that. But I didn't understand what the attraction was of the heroine to the guy who's telling the story in first person, Gilbert Markham. He didn't seem very mature to me. Like, I didn't get why he was so attractive to her, and why, after she'd been through this horrendous experience, that she would want to, like, marry him right away. It just didn't click. It didn't click. I do think that Anne Bronte writes very well, and I really enjoyed her Agnes Grey. I know it's like some people don't like it because it's a very quiet story, but I enjoyed Agnes Grey a lot. I think that's the one Bronte of all the three sisters that I've read now. It's the one Bronte where the plot doesn't give me pause, or like, there's nothing really strange happening in this. There's no supernatural. This is something I have a problem with Jane Eyre and Wuthering Heights, is the supernatural elements that come in there very inconveniently. And that's not present in Anne Bronte's books. Somebody does conveniently die, which is, I guess it's very Victorian. But other than that, I think I really like Anne Bronte kind of the best, even though I do acknowledge the brilliance of especially Jane Eyre. I think it's so well written. It just is, really, it's such an easy read. You just get so absorbed into the story. So anyway, I'm glad that I finally read The Tenant of Wildfell Hall. It was interesting. It held my interest. There were a couple of quibbly things that just kind of keep it from being a 5-star read. So those are the two books that I finished. And I think I might add maybe a couple of things onto this. I don't know what I'm going to do. But anyway, I feel like I should put up a video. I don't think I've really put one up. I put up a really short one last week. So anyway, okay, I'm just rambling, so I will talk to you later. Bye-bye. Happy reading. Can you hear that? Those are the spring peepers down at the pond there. You can't see them. They're tiny little frogs. But that's the sound they make. Anyway, I came out here because I had some kale that overwintered. And so what I'm going to do, it's growing again, I'm going to harvest some, because I'm going to put it in our dinner. I'm going to make an entree salad. And I thought nobody in my family really likes kale. So what I do is I cut it up really chop it up or shred it, and then just mix it into the salad. And then you can't tell because there's a lot of other stuff in the salad. So that's my plan, to use this kale. It just came back. It's a bonus plant. Show you my chickens. They've been stuck in this coop for a few months now, ever since a hawk killed 2 of the speckled Sussexes, which is a spotted chicken. That's a speckled Sussex. And then the black ones are Australorps. And then this one is a golden buff, or a red sex-link. And see how she has an injured tail? She survived a raccoon attack. She was the only one. Anyway, I'm going to give them some more water, and I'm going to give them some kale that I just harvested. So these are my fresh eggs that my chickens have been laying, and I can kind of tell which eggs come from which chickens. These lighter ones usually come from Goldie, the golden buff, and the darker, smaller ones come from the Australorps. And then the speckled Sussex is the youngest and has just started laying, and she gives me these nice ivory colored eggs, and they're very small. I hope they get bigger, but they're very small. There were a lot more, but my grandson insisted on helping me make Granddad's eggs, and he wanted to do all the little small Hall eggs. This is something I just bought. It's a scrubber, so you can clean the eggs if you need to. Anyway, the chickens love the kale. I had to go back and get more because they were squawking and squawking for more kale. So, but this is all that I harvested for the salad tonight.